welcome to my YouTube channel. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing great, you're healthy and staying safe. It's March and it's Women's History Month in the United States. And March 8th is International Women's Day around the world. As instituted by the United Nations in 1977, Women's Day, the International Women's Day, is a global event celebrated around the world. So, why Women's History Month? For centuries in the United States, and especially after the Civil War in the United States, the American Civil War, women did not have the right to vote. So, and they did not have the right to work, and even when they worked, they did not have the right to make or earn the same pay like their male counterparts. So for centuries, women like Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and a lot of other women, Stone Foster, Ida B. Wells, I'll add Harriet Tubman for her contributions she made in the freedom from slavery. Women, so many women like Sojourner Truth, Madam C.J. Walker. The Women History Month is to highlight the contributions that these women of all walks of life, of all colors, of all races, the contributions they've made to the economy, to political life, to society, to history. And it also opens the world of possibilities to young girls, not only in the United States, but around the world. For this year, 2021, the National Women's History Alliance has the theme for as valiant women of the vote, refusing to be silent. We all remember the elections of 2020 and the impact and the role of women like Stacey Abrams, Kamala Harris, the first United States female vice president, their contributions and the roles they play in the political life to shape the United States in their own way. We have women like Rosa Parks, Michelle Obama, RUTH GINSBURG in the Supreme Court. So these contributions women have made throughout the centuries has been recognized. And in 1987, 1987, to add to this designation of Women's Week, introduced by Jimmy Carter, Congress of the United States passed the law that the month of March will be Women's History Month. And this was to tie to the previous march by women demanding equal rights to work and pay and working conditions that had taken place prior in the state of New York. Today, a lot of women have benefited from this civil rights movement. And not only in the United States, but it has reached out to the world, because the rights for women in the United States to vote, the rights to vote, the rights to work, the right to earn same pay like their male counterparts, the right to decide for their bodies, what to do with their bodies, healthcare rights, has spread out around the world. And it has benefited women in other continents to demand the same rights, especially after the Fourth International Women's Conference of Beijing in 1995, which I would say as a little girl, then I was the first ever women's rights discourse that I ever listened to as a little girl. So, what was significant about Beijing 1995 was that that was the first time 195 countries participated with 17,000 participants and 30,000 activists from around the world converged in Beijing to make laws that, and the BFP came up, and it was instrumental to many changes around the world in women's rights. I will remember in Africa where I grew up, women were not allowed to travel abroad without their spouses or fathers' approval. Right? It's something that blows my mind when I learn about it. Women could not own property, and women were denied the right to succession. We can see this actually in Coming to America, how Eddie Murphy puts it. And it's an amazing story because I was horrified as a when I was a little bit older, when I learned about these things, that a woman was required to bring to the embassy her husband's authorization among the paperwork she needed to authorize her to get a visa to travel abroad. I was horrified the day I learned about that. Yeah. And in some countries today, women were not allowed to drive. Neither were women informed before the husbands could divorce them. Yeah, without their knowledge. And they could only find out later on. So it's really changed the world women's rights movements and women liberation movement around the world. And as we celebrate International Women's Day, I'm thinking about the women who had to stay out of work to take care of their family members in the year 2020 because of the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm thinking about women who had to stay home to take care of, to help their kids take online education. I'm thinking about the women who were denied health care. I'm thinking about the women warriors, the heroes, the nurses, the doctors who had to leave their own families to nurture patients in the hospital around the world affected by the COVID-19 virus. It's deep for me because the sacrifices women have made in this world and continue to make in their private lives and in their professional lives is so huge that when I think that some some employers do not pay women the same salary for doing the same work for the same hours like their male counterparts, it beats me how that can happen and how legislature has not been able to rectify that. And today we see other governments trying to get involved. There's progress that has been made, but a lot still has to be done. The colors for Women's History Month are green, purple, and white. I am wearing purple for the International Women's Day because purple is the color for the International Women's Day. And also, because women struggles are backed by fate. The month of March is also the feast of the Annunciation, March 25th, of the Annunciation of the birth of the Lord, of our Lord Jesus, that the angel Gabriel made to the Blessed Virgin Mary. So the month of March is special to women. And to women looking for the fruit of the womb. The month of March is also the beginning of spring. Like new life, you know, rebirth. It's one thing, the role of women is one thing that has not been celebrated or given that much attention in every aspect of life, from the homes to the hospitals, to the boardrooms, and everywhere else. Hopefully this will change in the 21st century. I'm rooting for us women, right? Our contributions are huge, and hopefully we get paid like the same pay or better still, because women are passionate about what they do. Usually when you find a woman at a job or on a project, they take it to heart. They're passionate about it. They treat it like their own, even when it's not their business and they're working for someone. One thing, the Biden administration has signed into law the Gender Policy Council as part of their executive office. And this is going to work for gender equality and equity. Empowering women should be every government's number one priority, because a woman is a mother, is a girl. So we have a girl who is the future. We have a woman who is the present. And we have a mother who gives life to the future. Now, if we don't take a woman, a girl, a mother high priority, then what kind of communities are we building? Because if no matter how strong or healthy people are, if your home is not at ease or at peace, you can go out and make decisions for your business. You can go out and make decisions for your corporations, for your communities, and for your organizations. Like, you need a clear head to do this. And if you come from a home that it's not working right, or if you're brought up in an environment that is not healthy, it's gonna affect you negatively. Women and girls need education. We need health care. And this should be the priority for every government, for every organization, for every corporation around the world. Because if you educate a woman, you educate a community. And that's the truth. It has been proven. Because look at, with the pandemic, almost every woman or a mother has to help their children with their education. Never before has this burden been placed on moms at this level. You know? Hopefully we address this society economic cultural and political issues that women are facing, voter suppression, I the right to have a baby or not, the right to be admitted to certain colleges or not because you're a woman, because you have a certain race or certain color or hair texture, the right not to be the right to be able to make the same pay or to be promoted as your male counterparts for the same work you do. And when all this is fixed, we will have a better world, because women have proven to be better managers, women have proven to make better decisions. Women have proven to build right the best projects and to bring up solutions that not only work for one entity but for groups of entities, for communities, for the world at large. Look at the situation in countries that are run by women. Let's take 2020, what happened with the pandemic and everything. You can Google all that information and you will see for yourselves countries that were thriving. I would take Germany for once. Nobody lost. There were no jobs or loss or unemployment issues in Germany. Yes, Angela Merkel is their leader. She's a woman. That's just an example. And on a lighter note, I'm wondering who would be the smartest women. Will there be a poll like who's the smartest woman on earth? But for popular women, Jane Austen is the most popular. She's an author, if you're not familiar with who she is. She wrote the most popular books like Pride and Prejudice, Pride and Prejudice and Emma. And we have Maya Angelou, the poet. We have Rosa Parks, who sparked the civil rights movement in the 1960s in the United States by refusing to give her seat to a white person on the bus. And we know the role of Sojourner Truth, who flee from slavery to freedom with a child, came back and sued her owner, her slave master, in court in 1928. And she was given custody of her child. The courage, the bravery of women, of girls, of mothers has changed this world, has affected and impacted this world at so many levels. Girls have been refused education for centuries. They've been sent out into early marriages where they've been humiliated, abused, and yet they're resilient in everything they do. We all know Malala Yousafzai, her story. For women in education, the professors everywhere. Women are scientists. Women are engineers. But if those women did not have the right to education, all the contributions they've made would not be there today. So let's keep on educating women. Let's keep on giving women who work the right to equal pay, the rights to have the chance to become mothers. Because in North America, it's not the same like it is in Europe. Well, most countries in North America do not give women the time to have a baby and go back to work like it's done in Europe and in Canada. And the right to choose whether they want to be mothers or not. The right to choose whether they want to be promoted or not by merit. Because women have been told to go home and get married. Women have been told to go home and take care of their children. And when your job or it's not impacted by your work, by your family, why would someone tell you that? Or why would someone think they have the right to tell you that? Because you work for them? This is what women face in the work world. This is what, for a woman not to be married and to be considered a prostitute because she's not married? Or for women to get promoted and be expected to say thank you to their bosses for promoting them by sleeping with them? Or for professors to ask women for favors because they made A's in their courses, as we see in some colleges and universities? And they think they're entitled to get sexual favors from a student because the student is passing their course? That's not right. The Me Too movement is working on that, has opened the conversation, but there's still much to be done because I hope people will come forward with those stories and have the courage to come forward with those stories, will have evidence to back them up, so there will be no denial. I wish I had evidence to tell my own story. But that was long ago. And it was commonplace, so everybody thought it was okay. That you have to tell your boss, or you have to sleep with your boss to tell them thank you for recruiting you or for promoting you. And then you have to do all the work to merit that promotion or that position. And they don't even own the company or the organization, but they expect that favor. Oh, they call it right. And when you don't, they say you're not nice. Well, hopefully things are gonna change for the better. Not everywhere in the world, Women can have babies when they want, go to school when they want, and be promoted on merit, as is the case, and not be requested to say thank you for being promoted or for being recruited. Well, I was just checking the most beautiful women in the world on the internet, and it says the 2019 Miss Universe, Zozibini Tunzi from South Africa, is the most beautiful woman in the world. She tops the list of 51 most beautiful women in the world. Amazing, right? Because she's African. Yeah, she's dark-skinned African, south of the Sahara Desert. And she has nappy hair. Yeah, natural, raw African hair. I hide mine under my wig. Yeah, but that hers is like that. So things are shifting, and women are being accepted gradually as they are, with their differences and different races, and from with their looks. And other communities, societies are copying from other women and learning from other women. And yes, this is going to make a difference everywhere when women get what they deserve, and when women are treated as their male counterparts in every sector and in every aspect of life, be it in work life or in private life. And then we will not have violence against women. We will not have injustice against women. And we'll have freedoms for women. And we'll have more women representation. And that is what we're hoping for. So happy International Women's Day to all the women and to the men who support women's rights and women equality and gender equality. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and leave a comment below. Let's know how you celebrate International Women's Day and what the Women's History Month is for you, and the Women's Civil Rights Movement is to you, and how it has impacted your life or the lives of people around you. With more educated women, we have more better leaders for tomorrow, and we'll have a better world. Take care.